Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dion, and today we are going to be talking about maybe not like a winter aesthetic, but my winter aesthetic. The aesthetic that I'm aspiring to harness this winter. I actually asked on like my Instagram, I gave you guys like a collage of the photos that had been inspiring me. I'm like, what would you call this? Because I thought that I would see it more on TikTok or Pinterest, but I couldn't quite find what I wanted, like exactly what encompassed what I was looking for this winter. And some of the things that you guys said on Instagram, which is at @DionTheTaurus, if you don't know, I asked you guys like, what would you call this aesthetic when I showed you guys the like 6 images, and someone said Snow Princess, or that flawless girl from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, the Nutcracker Bimbo Core Winter Edition, Snow Princess Winter Bimbo, Russian Doll Core, Snow Fairy, Snow Angel, something with Russian in it, Russian Order Bride, Coquette Winter Edition, Russian Winter Chic, Babushka Bimbo, Nutcracker Russian Balletcore, Winter Core maybe, Russian Coquette. So typically I would do sort of an aesthetic story to sort of get you guys into the mode of what I'm talking about, like get you really into the vibe and everything. But today we're not doing that because in lieu of my aesthetic story that I usually do at the beginning of these videos, I want to address the shooting in Colorado. I do want to make it perfectly clear, this is a direct result of white Christian nationalism. It's these white Christian values that are harming gay and trans people, and white Christian politicians that are pushing this transphobic rhetoric. I'm putting Christian in quotes because if you've ever read the Bible, you know that shooting up gay people isn't, you know, in it. Blood of those murdered is on those Christian Republican hands and the harmful poison that they spread. Right now in the US, we average about 2 mass shootings a day. And these shootings disproportionately target marginalized communities. And as we've seen, cops are 100% useless in these situations, as we saw in Uvalde, and the fact that a trans woman and an Army veteran took down a shooter when 20 Uvalde police officers couldn't do that for children being shot up at their school. And below, I'm gonna have a link to GoFundMe for the victims of the families who, or for the families of the victims who died at the shooting. And also try to find a link for the queer veteran that also stopped the shooter. Please, please, please contact your representatives and demand gun reform. This is so important. I have 6,000 subscribers, and so if all of you guys contacted your representatives, that would make a difference. I also will have a petition for gun reform link below, as well as Lauren Boebert's contact information. If you're not from the US, Lauren Boebert is the representative in Colorado who has been spreading anti-gay rhetoric for her entire campaign, and then had the cojones to say thoughts and prayers. She can literally stick her thoughts and prayers up her hairy butt. I don't care. And I want all 6,000 of you, all 6,000 of my subscribers, to call, email, and send her letters. Tell her that she has blood on her hands. Tell her that she needs to step down and resign and get the hell out of office. So in conclusion, fuck the police, ACAB, get Lauren Boebert out of office. Please sign the petitions for gun reform. Please contact your representatives. And without further ado, let's get into it. I didn't want to be like, I'm gonna talk about this like really cute winter coquette aesthetic without like acknowledging that people are being shot up at their sanctuary places. So I can't find the name of this aesthetic that accurately describes what I'm going for. And I'm not saying I made this up. I'm just sort of referring it to as like Pinkmas, which typically refers to like gift guides and stuff like that, and having like an all pink aesthetic around Christmas. I'm also going for like Slavic Snow Queen, I think is a phrase that I feel comfortable with. I got inspired for this from the I'm cold makeup trend that's going around on TikTok right now. Some aesthetic influences for this vibe is like very coquette, like people said on Instagram, winter core, bimbo core. I've seen Svetlana core, Russian bimbo. It has very much Eastern European luxury vibes, ballet core, some ski bunny vibes. a lot of like Y2K influences. Essentially everything is like pink and feminine. Like I grew up in Miami, and when it dipped below like 70 degrees, everybody would come out in their Uggs and fur and their little like muffs and stuff like that. It was so funny. So this is definitely an homage to the hot Slavic moms of Miami that would really turn up when it got below like 70 degrees. I also think like the Ariana Grande like Christmas edition, that's also, my cat is playing with my eyeliner. For the colors of this aesthetic, white and baby pink I would feel like are the two biggest ones, along with black, neutral beiges, and occasionally some browns and deeper pinks, as well as like generally pastels. Some icons of this aesthetic are Mina Marlena, the Chanels from the show Scream Queens, Blair Waldorf from Gossip Girl, Luna Montana, who is a ballerina influencer, as well as like Camry Huey. Designers, I think of like Silky's winter collection, 90s Chanel, Miu Miu, Simone Rocha, Victoria's Secret Christmas, Lace Made, Dugai, these sort of hyper feminine brands that are all about like pink and all of that wonderfulness. Likes of this Slavic snow queen aesthetic is being driven around, shopping, seeing or participating in ballet, carrying around tiny animals, pampering, ice skating, taking luxurious baths, occasionally the occasional cigarette when they are in revenge mode. They hang out at ski lodges, the back of limos, Christmas markets. Their occupation, they don't have one. Their boyfriend, their man pays for everything, or they're an heiress, but like, no. These women are living the life of luxury. These people are living the life of luxury. Essentials of this aesthetic are coats trimmed with fur, or have like fur on them, knitted or wool mini skirts, pink or white puffy coats, nightgowns, corset tops, shoes. We've seen moon boots, ballet flats, specifically the Simone Rocha or Miu Miu ballet flats, Uggs, mock and mock heels, or any shoe that has like fur or sparkle on it. Favorite accessories for this aesthetic is leg warmers, muffs, furry headbands, earmuffs, tights, especially like white knitted tights or bows or anything girly really, ribbon details, furry scarves. Basically you take Coquette and you transfer it over to the winter months, same color palette and everything, it's just winterified. If you want to know more about the Coquette aesthetic, I do have a whole video on it. So you should definitely go check that out for reference. You want to look like you killed your last husband. Your current husband is in the mob, like hyper feminine, but a don't fuck with me edge, that kind of vibe. I usually do criticisms with every aesthetic. If you want the full gambit of criticisms for Coquette, go check out the original Coquette video. I just don't want to like repeat the same things. I'm not purposely leaving anything out. I just don't want to repeat myself. I will say when I was last year when I was covering Coquette, I found that it was much more size diverse. I feel like there was a pushback with the traditional like Coquette tumbler Lolita, which is what I call it to differentiate from the Japanese Lolita, in the like small waif body type. And I feel like last year there was a lot of like plus size Coquettes pushing back on it, but I feel like the pendulum switched back and now it is like even more with the vengeance, such a hyper fixation on the thinness, and like TikTok is basically just turning into Tumblr all over again, which is upsetting. It was easier to find plus size Coquettes last year than it was this week, which is like really upsetting and disappointing. So if you are a plus size person who is very into like the hyper femme Coquette vibe, drop a link to your socials, or if you know creators that fit that description, like tag them just so we can all sort of find more diversity in this community. I'm also like not 100% on board with people calling this like the Russian bimbo aesthetic or like mail order bride vibes. I know that we've done like Messy French Girl and Sufjan Stevens Summer, so we're not like against country or regionally specific aesthetics or that are aspirational towards a country or region. I just think like Slavic Snow Queen is a little bit better. I just want to like give it the respect that we gave those other aesthetics, Messy French Girl and the Sufjan Stevens Summer. You know, I don't want to make the assumption that like every Eastern European woman in the United States that dresses like this is like a bimbo or a mail order bride. That's like a harmful stereotype. One of my best friends in middle school, her mom was a 90s supermodel and they're Russian, and she, oh my God, she was so freaking fierce. And a bad bitch, single mom, like hell yeah. I know that people have reclaimed the term bimbo. So if you like that, hell yeah, like good for you. I just don't want to like associate a country with bimbo, if that makes sense. I've been calling this like the pink miss aesthetic or Slavic snow queen because I don't want to say winter coquette because you coquettes are being gross and pro Anna. And I don't want to like call it Russian bimbo. I don't know. Maybe if you're Russian or if you're Slavic and you're okay with that, let us know in the comments. I just like, you know, I feel like Americans can be very, very rude to Slavic countries. So I want to be respectful. So Slavic snow queens, I think, is the best because you guys are snow queens. All right, so when getting the look for this aesthetic, tons of thrift stores organize their stuff by color. So check out the black, white, cream, and pink sections for bases like skirts and tops. Also check out kids sections because they might have accessories that would fit. So like the kids sections might have cuter earmuffs or gloves or scarves, that kind of thing. Poshmark or Depop, check out the tags like coquette, bimbocore, y2k. I feel like that will give you at least like the color palette and the theme and the details that you're looking for, and then you can sort of narrow it down by coats or whatever from there. Color scheme is really important for this aesthetic. I feel like that's the main tenet, is that it is the black, white, and pink color scheme that you see throughout the entire aesthetic. So definitely like make sure that you have a pink or white base. Look for details like fur, ribbons, bows, pearls. I do feel like this aesthetic is very textured base. So think about like looking very touchable. So fur, tweed, super puffy coats. I feel like this aesthetic is very texturally interesting. Like textures and color is really what you want to focus on because it's all about the pink and the fur and the whatever. Hair is like typically down in loose curls or in a ballet bun. Since like earmuffs or the fur hats that go across are very common in this aesthetic and are like a key component, it sort of limits how many hairstyles you can do because you have to navigate headwear as well. Pigtails or two braids with ribbons could be cute, or like a half up, half down, or a ponytail with ribbons. Again, when in doubt, put a ribbon on it. Finish off with the I'm cold sort of makeup, the shimmery eyeshadow, lots of blush around the nose and under the eyes and around the mouth, pink lip gloss. There's a ton of TikTok tutorials on that I think would be super interesting. But I mean, I think this aesthetic is so cute, and winter is something that I really struggle with fashion-wise. I just like don't know what to wear, and I live in Rhode Island, so everybody just wears black for the entirety of winter, and so I'm not very inspired by the people around me. And this aesthetic, the Slavic snow queen aesthetic, has actually like made me excited for winter. Like I got this from ThredUp. I actually got this from ThredUp also, the dress I'm wearing. And I'm like, yes, that's what I want. I want luxury. I want hyper femme. I want Slavic snow queen. I want pink miss. I want Ariana Grande. I want Victoria's Secret Christmas. That like hyper feminine, all girly Christmas aesthetic. That's really what I'm going for because that's what makes me excited for winter. Of course, just because we talked about this with coquette, but just because it's like hyper feminine and everything doesn't mean anybody can obviously tap into this. I want to see men wearing those like Russian fur hats that go across. I don't know why I'm doing this gesture. And I would love to see more pink and more fur in winter rather than like nylon puffer coats. And this is fake fur. If you can buy fake fur, I would say secondhand real fur is number one, secondhand fake fur number two. Then like, I don't know, maybe if you have family that hunts and they do fur, maybe that thing, but I know the fur industry can be gross. But fake fur is also like plastic. So if you can buy secondhand real fur, which go to thrift shops. Thrift shops have so many of those things. That would be great. Estate sales as well. But secondhand fake fur is also obviously great. This is fake. I think most of my fur things are fake. Let me know what you guys think of this aesthetic or what you would call it, because I didn't make it up, but it's just sort of an amalgamation of a bunch of aesthetics that I'm into for this winter. And let me know what your winter vibe is gonna be. This is definitely gonna be mine. This is my winter goal, winter like outfit inspiration. And so I would love to know yours or what other winter aesthetics you'd like me to cover. If you don't already, please follow me on TikTok and Instagram because I post content there every day. I am always asking for your opinions on things on TikTok and Instagram. It just makes it easier to communicate. So yeah, do that. Subscribe to my channel because I post videos every Thursday. And with that, have a happy day. Bye.